Welcome back to the second video in this painting series. We're going to continue working on our porcelain ceramic glazed rabbits composition and blue cloth. So from the last video till now, I spent about another 5 minutes off camera just putting in more color in the background. I just wanted to fill that in. So now we're gonna go back to our central focal point and we're gonna work in and put more and more details. So I'm not really gonna be too concerned about the fabric right now, at least not for this video. We're gonna work on these two guys and specifically the interesting light patterns on them. So we have some basic shape, some basic color blocking in. Now we just gotta progress and take it a step further. So again, I'm continuing to work with a very limited palette. I put out the colors same as last time. That's the only thing on my palette, nothing more, nothing less, and I'm using the same Neo McGilp from Gamblin as my preferred painting medium of choice. I am putting down my bristle brush for now. This guy here, I just have some brush dip on the bristles to keep it nice and wet. And now I'm stepping up into this finer Escoda Optimo Kolinsky bristled brush because now I'm going in and I want to start capturing better detail. It's not a teeny tiny brush, it's not remarkably large either. Doesn't really matter. Later on we can go with smaller brushes and really pick out finer highlights towards the end of the painting, but for now we're not there yet. Anyway, so let's get right down to mixing. Just want to get a little bit of this odorless mineral spirits out on my palette. Get a little into my bristles first. Get my paper towel sheet. Just give the bristles a quick wipe because there's some brush soap in there. Okay, now I'll just go into my medium and then we're going to continue to begin painting. So again, I'm looking down on my subject for my camera. You know, it's there, as you can see, but I want the camera to focus in more on the painting. Okay, so let's start mixing some colors. Still kind of blurring my vision. So definitely gonna jump into this quinacridone magenta. That's my red. I'm just mixing paint on the brush. So making large piles of paint, I grab a palette knife to do that, but here I don't really see the need to do that. If you really nitpick this, there's quite a lot going on color-wise. You know, there's greens, there's blues, light shades, dark shades. Okay, so we have some starter color mixed up that we can push around as we dance around this painting. So still holding the back of my brush here. Just kind of getting in color. Still drawing, we're always drawing. And here I'm going around with this color. Just putting a little bit in wherever I feel it goes. And I'm not trying to really blend anything right now if I can help it. Since we initially painted with that very thin layer of paint, it's more or less dry. There's a full day that has elapsed in between the paintings. So remember, one of the nice things about oil painting is you can layer your colors, whether it be dry or be wet. I mean, if it's drier, it's easier to do. Thicker paint sticks over thinner paint, should it be more on the wet side. So as an artist, as a painter, it's up to you to decide how much time you're going to spend working your painting, massaging, pushing it around. You know, just like the Mona Lisa, right? That was decades. It was never quite finished. At some point, the painting will be quote unquote done. And it's very possible to start taking away from the painting. And there's no real easy way to know. In my experience, it just helps having another critical eye look at it, especially one that can follow your progress. Because you can get tunnel vision, focusing on your own work. You may start obsessing with some fine detail that no one else really picks up on. If they do, it's a non-issue. They just glance over it. That's entirely likely. But by having someone else take a peek at it, they could just offer a fresh perspective or insight. Maybe I should set up a mailbox or something through my own website, edwardheim.com. You can shoot me an email there. Yeah, send me some of your own artwork. I'd be happy to take a look at it, offer an honest critique, what's working, what isn't. And it's good to get that from a fellow artist, someone else who understands some of the extra nuances that the general public may not even be aware of, or can't articulate it or explain it. Up to you. I'll put that information in my description. So I'm just cinching up on the paintbrush a little bit to give me a little extra control here. Some blocking in color. Remember, lines can be pushed back and forth. I have another video about painting like razor thin lines with oil paints, and it's not from taking a brush and drawing like a pencil line. It doesn't work that way. You know, we're not 3D printers. There's too many variables going on. So again, we're just blocking in color, keeping blending to a minimum. You know, you're controlling many different things at once, whether you realize it or not. Values, shape, color, harmony. Perspective, focal points, eye magnets, meaning other points of interest that move your eye around the painting. Motion, positive space, negative space. I don't really worry too much about that. It's more a matter of doing, going into autopilot, getting in the zone. Like so many other things, it's so much more useful to just start doing something. That's where real learning happens, and then it becomes a matter of practice. So if you just practice more than the average person, your results will speak for themselves. Okay, so I'm still gonna keep using the same old paintbrush like I did last time. I gotta go into some darker color now to balance out my lighter color. So, Chromatic Black, I make mine using my ultramarine blue and asphaltum. Mix the two together, more blue than brown. If it's more blue, it's cooler. If it's more brown, it's warmer. We got natural sunshine coming in. Mixing it into my initial base color that I started off with. I find that makes things easier when it comes to painting. You have a base color down. And then from there you can push it around to suit your needs. Okay. Yeah, so this is painting. Try not to think too hard about it, just go and do it. And as I'm painting this, I'm making notes here. There's a lot going on. The way the light's coming and hitting is, the more I study these figurines, the more complicated they're getting. But again, right now I'm more interested in major shapes, major colors. I'm not too pressed for detail right now. We will do it. I just want to get big shapes in. Try to nail down color intensity. And then we can come back and sharpen up our lines. There's no reason to get bent out of shape and get frustrated because this didn't come together right out of the gate. I have never done a painting like that. I have never done a drawing like that in my life. Some people can do it. It's remarkable for anyone who can truly do that. It is a gift, but I would say for the normal person, that's not really the case, so temper your expectations. As long as we do a little bit better each time. So I'm just looking and trying to capture what I'm seeing within reason, knowing that nothing is set in stone and we can come back and make little changes, little corrections, adjustments. Just we're getting paint down, we're building it up. It builds on itself, and oil paints, that's what makes them luminous. The way the light is hitting the oils that's mixed into the paint, the medium, and everything cures. It doesn't really dry, it cures. But it reflects the light back. So it goes through the layers of pigments and mediums. It builds on itself. So at the beginning of the video, I showed where we were before we started painting. And then at the end of this video, we'll do a little side by side, you know, before and after. It's just good to see progress. Good to see progress. And every time we work on a painting, we're progressing a little bit. So I'm still using the same dirty old paintbrush. I'm just wiping it in my paper towel I have off on the side. So these figurines are painted in one color, but you're getting a lot of different values. You're getting your lights, your darks, and then on top of that is your light effects, which is what makes this interesting. Again, this is why I chose these figurines. And a lot of times you're laid into a painting before, you know, you really get that pop, that wow factor that you're looking to capture because you're laying groundwork down. Keep your brush strokes interesting, keep it lively. Makes for a better painting. Of course, you're going to put your own spin on it. Every artist does. But if you're looking for a looser, freer type of painting, vary your brush strokes. They're important. Angles, pressures. For me, I just find it to be fun to do that. Get some nice effects going. So I hope that these videos ultimately will become very helpful to you. That's the whole point, is why I'm doing this. Very interested in getting continuous feedback from my viewers, subscribers, non-subscribers who are watching. It doesn't matter. As long as this is helping. That's the name of the game here. If you've never painted, I invite you to try it. You would be amazed how relaxing this is. Very comforting. I guess for some people knitting is calming and soothing. For me, it's painting. Definitely painting. Such beautiful warm grays all over this painting. It's looking pretty cool so far. Pleased with how this is going at the moment. Still drawing, still giving shape. Okay, so I think we gotta come back in with some darker color again as part of this process. Grab a little more blue and brown on my dirty brush. I just wiped it off. Sorry. So we've been painting, I don't know, just over 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's what we've been doing here. 20 minutes is not a lot of time, but still, that's enough time to make a noticeable difference in your painting. So if you come home after work and you're tired and you don't want to paint, do it anyway. Paint for half an hour, because half an hour is better than not doing it at all, right? Something's better than nothing. You may find that this makes you feel better and you get more energy, and now you can go paint for an hour, 2 hours, whatever you can muster. So, just my experience, what's going to happen here is I'm going to kind of get this in, and then I'm going to leave it alone. And I know I'm going to be coming back over, continuing to finesse on another fresh layer on top of this. Which is fine, because it's my painting and I can do whatever I want with it. Painting in layers makes this easier, in my opinion. Still drawing. Still drawing. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get away from these dark colors, various midtones. I want to get some of these cool reflective lights in. So I am going to rinse my brush out in my silicoil and then give it a good wipe. Trying to get it as clean as possible out, going crazy. And then once I do that, I'm gonna more or less call this painting session done. Okay. Don't do what I do and spill mineral spirits on yourself. And get paint all over my fingers. That's an uncanny ability. It's quite a talent I have. Okay. Brush has been cleaned. Let me go into some white. The backside of my white pile. Meaning it's not contaminated with other color mixtures as I've been dipping into that pile. Don't be afraid to put fresh color out on your palette too if you need it. Okay. So here's something I want to show you. So I cleaned that brush out. I got some medium. I grabbed some pure white paint and I'm mixing and what's going on. Look at that color extraction. Bleeding out from the ferrule into the bristles. In this particular case, it's okay. I don't mind. And I'm just working that in. If I wanted a cleaner brush, after going in the silicoil and wiping it out, I like to grab some clean medium, mix it on the side, back and forth into the bristles, wipe it out. And that's gonna, do what this is doing, although it would have prevented color from getting mixed in. I'm not overly concerned about that right now, so it's really a non-issue. Okay, I grabbed some more white. Mixed it in, because I had a little too much medium. The consistency there was a little too thin for my liking. Okay. Let's go back. Let's redefine our central focal point. That awesome luminous color. And what's happening is, as I'm putting this light color, this paint's wet, it's going to pick up some of the wet paint underneath it. Just have your rag or your paper towel, whatever, and just give it a wipe, and then go into the color. Don't go from here back into the color. You're going to start polluting and contaminating it. That's not what I'm going for right now. So lay down some color. Wipe your bristles. Go back into clean color. Put it down. Wipe the bristles. That's a little tip for you. So all this is helping capture effects, dimension. So again, this painting's not done, which is just fine, because then we get to keep working on it for this series. So I'm just looking at all this cool light effect, just drawing that in, knowing I'm going to come back and work that a little bit more. Okay. Okay. So why don't we wrap it up here? So today's video, we focused more on our subject matter and kept refining that. I want to work here and work outwards, right? I want my eye looking here at this particular point, that intense light, most detailed, crisp, sharp, highest contrast, highest everything. And as we get further and further away, it's going to start diffusing. And then here will be a soft fog, if you will, because this is not a central focal point. So again, if this video helped you at all, I'd ask that you please subscribe, like, and share. It helps out the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.